Hi, my name is April Nicholas, and welcome to our three-part video series called How to Create True Happiness, Health, and Wealth by Keeping It Simple. Here's the first tool I'm going to give you. Quick and simple tool. This is a very personal journey, and it is really and has always been about you. That means the universe has been asking you, what do you want? What feels good to you? What lifts you up? How would your life feel if you were living your best life today? What would it look like? How would it feel to you? And that requires you to actually imagine, visualize how relationships would look, how they would feel if you were in them, if you were in the right career. How would you be dressed? How does that look like? What are you in a building? Are you contracting? Are you working from home? Are you in an open field, nature, exploring? It really dives into just being who you are. That's how we started, the Just Do You Summit. So when I say make it about you, let me tell you about me. My journey as I grew up, as you guys may have known from the summit, is that it was very dysfunctional. I came from a family that had physical abuse. There was sexual abuse in some parts of my family. There are so much traumatic experience in my life, just like everybody else. But here's the beauty of it. I believe today, looking back, that everything that I've ever gone through was a stepping stone leading me up to who I am today and where I've been. Because of what I went through, I had to undergo a journey, what Joe Campbell would say, a hero's journey, to really find tools and apply them so that I can unlearn and uncondition myself from everything that I learned from my own family, from society, from what people expected of me, and made it be about me. Even my past marriage was a learning tool for me, and I'm so grateful for it. Aside from my two wonderful kids, I have this beautiful relationship with myself today, and it is an ongoing thing, just like my journey is. It's never about the end result goal, because every day brings something new. And as you guys may have experienced, I had trouble saying no to people, so I basically took care of everybody. I always had what people needed, the answers, if they needed help with something, if whatever it was, I suited up, showed up, and took care of things. And you know, when you look back at that, I was part of a process. It was a dance between me, my siblings, my friends, everybody else, of caretaking, enabling. And in the back of my mind, I didn't know, but me helping them stopped them from helping themselves. And this is what's happening, because if you have a heart like mine, we want to help people. But there's a healthy way of doing that, and there's an unhealthy way of doing that. So we're either part of the problem or part of the solution. There has to be a very healthy boundary. So when I say make this journey personal and keep it simple, part of the tool I had to keep in front of me, and I literally wrote it on paper, is mind your own business. Because people talk to me all the time about their issues, and I have to know if they're venting or asking for help. So then I learned to ask those questions. If they're just venting, then I'm here to listen. But if they're needing my help, I need to know if it's the right thing to do. One of the trainings I learned is that anybody above the age of 12 can actually pretty much do things for themselves. And so me helping them somewhat enables them, unless I'm teaching them something new. Part of the trick is scanning ourselves for what is our intention. So keeping this journey about you makes it really simple, because you get to look at your relationships, your connections to your workplace, the people that work with you. You get to look at the job you're doing, the career you're in right now. You get to look at how you handle money, your relationship with money. You get to look at your own health and start looking at it like, am I taking care of myself? Am I giving myself the attention I need the way I would if it was my child, my sibling, my mother, my dad, my friend, my partner? Are we giving ourselves the same amount of love and care? And for the most part, I would say 90% of the people I know don't, because it takes a little bit of shift to make it such a personal journey that you are like, wow, I matter too. And that means taking the time and the energy to actually slow down a little bit. Because when you make this journey about you, you start to be aware that, are you eating healthy? Are you thinking good thoughts, thoughts that lifts you up? Are you talking to yourself in a positive note? Or are you, pooping on yourself, bringing yourself down? Are you speaking words that are uplifting? So there's a way that we talk to ourselves, and if people heard us say it out loud, they would be shocked, because our biggest critic is us, and we tend to compare ourselves with others, and there's really no comparison if we were made uniquely. A lot of people know and believe in this higher power, the source. I call it energy, spirit, the universe, God. It doesn't matter what we call it. It doesn't even care what we call it, but we know that it exists. So if you start to know that, you'd know that you are and always have been on the right path. Where you are today is the right and perfect place for you to learn this tool. Keeping it simple, making it about you. Does this food make me feel good after I eat it? Do I drink enough water? Do I get in action and walk, get my body some exercise, at least 30 minutes a day? It can be 2 15-minute walks. Do I set aside time to be with myself? Because a lot of people I know have a hard time being alone. And then they confuse aloneness with loneliness, and there's a big difference. I love spending time alone because it allows me to hear my own thoughts, feel my own feelings. It's really easy for me to connect to others and be empathizing, but to hone in on my own stuff, I have to be centered. Because if I'm not, and I don't know if you guys can relate, you become like aggravated person, not just behind the wheel, but you get grumpy and you get weighed down. You don't get clear on what you want, so you don't say no to people when they invite you to go somewhere. When you're clear on who you are, what you're here to do, and what your life is about, and you will get there by first making this journey, this hero's journey about you. It becomes really simple, because you're not living your life to please anybody else. You're not dressing for anybody else. You're not buying things for anybody else to look good. You are just showing up, being you, whatever that may look like today, and doing the best you can in everything that you're doing. So simple steps. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, they have to be aligned with who you are. And then those had to be aligned with your core values, which is what is important to you. For a lot of people, they say, oh, I will be happy when I make this much money, when I've made this level in the corporate, when I live in this big giant house, when I'm married, when I get my degree. When is never promised to us. We only have in reality what is here before us, which is today. And today you're listening to me because I too have been there. I grew up in a family of dysfunction. I married somebody like my dad. I've experienced things that I wouldn't dream other people to experience, but I can tell you that I grew from that. I'm grateful for that. I have the life I have today because of those experiences. I have today a man I trust. On top of that, I trust myself in making decisions, that I'm not, picking the wrong person to be with. I trust my relationship with my children. I trust my relationship with money. I trust my relationship with people, and people, your friends, your acquaintances, strangers, they are going to be your mirror. So when we tend to judge others critically, it's mostly about us. So I want you to be aware that this journey is about you. So my husband says this thing like, when you spot it, you have it. So my first thing is, when you start to hear yourself be critical, pause and think and say, is this something loving? And do I need to say it? And is it important? And does it matter? The bigger thing is, how am I showing up in my life today? Am I being the best version of me? Some of the things I catch myself doing sometimes is complaining, and that had to get cut off a lot because, I was told, when you tell your story over and over, you just keep reliving it. And so I want you to ask yourself, what story are you hanging on to that you can really live without? What story have you lived through that no longer applies today, and you can close that chapter of your book? So today, make it about you. I want you, a call of action for you would be to write down, start journaling, and how you are showing up. Are you making this journey about yourself or other people? Are you living this life for somebody else, somebody's dreams for you, or are you doing it because it feels good for you? They're very simple questions, like who you wanted to be when you grow up. Part of the thing that I realized is that who I've always wanted to be had been present since I was a kid. I had a chalkboard and chalk, and I was a teacher. So today I teach tools, and I help people live their best version of themselves. I was also a boss in my young life, and I've owned my own business, and I'm doing it again now. And so if you're wondering who you are and what you're here to do, look at the trail that you've journeyed on. What you would call a mess is your message to the world. As you would have heard me say in the last video of the summit, your mess is your message to the world, as somebody told me once. It becomes the foundation that we build on. So I urge you to follow the next video, and I thank you so much for being here with me. And remember that you're not alone and that you're so worth it. Some of you are saying, yes, I'm ready to create shifts in my life. Some are really saying, 10, I'm so ready, I just don't know where to go. Start here, start with you, start today. Whatever you do, just start now, okay? I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself. Bye.